As a kid, Clara had heard the stories about Hill House. It was alive, they said, and it remembered those who dared enter. But curiosity always pulled her back. One night, a raging storm rolled into town, wind and rain lashing against her window. Something about the tempest drew her out into the night. She pulled on a jacket, grabbed her trusty flashlight and her journal, and stepped out into the maelstrom. The old house loomed before her, dark and silent. Taking a deep breath, she walked up the cracked concrete path and pushed open the groaning door. The air inside was thick and heavy, smelling of mildew and something else, something rotten. She ventured into the main hall, her flashlight beam dancing over the broken chandeliers and cracked walls. The floorboards creaked under her weight, the sound echoing in the oppressive silence. As she moved deeper into the house, she began to hear faint whispers. They were soft and unintelligible at first, but as she walked, they grew clearer. "Clara, come closer!" Her heart started to race. She spun around, but the hallway was empty. The whispers seemed to be coming from everywhere and nowhere. Taking a shaky breath, she continued on, her flashlight beam revealing more broken furniture and decaying grandeur. Then she saw it. A doorway at the end of the hall she hadn't noticed before. It was slightly ajar, and she could feel a draft coming from beneath the door. Slowly, she approached it and pushed it open. The whispers grew louder, and she could feel the air growing colder. Inside the room, a rocking chair was moving by itself, back and forth, back and forth. On the wall, a clock was ticking loudly, its hands moving backward. On the table lay a teddy bear, its fur matted and one eye missing. Clara felt a sudden chill and hugged her jacket closer around her shoulders. Turning to leave, she noticed a second doorway in the room. She couldn't remember seeing it before. Hesitantly, she stepped through. She found herself in a dining room. Plates were stacked high on the table, knives and forks glinting ominously in the dim light. A single candle flickered in the center of the table, casting long, dancing shadows on the walls. And then she saw them, the figures in the shadows. Tall, gaunt figures with glowing red eyes. They were feasting on the food laid out before them, their laughter echoing around her. Clara screamed and stumbled back. She had to get out of there. She turned and ran, her footsteps echoing in the vast emptiness of the house. She didn't know where she was going, but she knew she had to escape the house and its ghastly inhabitants. As she ran, she heard the whispers again, now right behind her. "Don't leave, Clara. Stay with us." She dared not look back. She could feel their icy fingers brushing against her skin, their cold breath on her neck. Suddenly, she tripped over something and fell to the ground. Scrambling to her feet, she looked back. The hallway she had been running down had vanished. In its place was a nursery, complete with a crib and a rocking horse. The rocking horse was moving by itself, slowly back and forth, back and forth. She turned and ran again, desperate to find the front door. But every room she entered was filled with the same decaying grandeur and lurking shadows. The whispers followed her, growing louder, echoing inside her skull. Then she saw it, a glimmer of light at the end of a hallway. Hope surged through her. She stumbled toward it only to find that the light was coming from a mirror. And in the mirror, she saw not her reflection, but the grinning faces of the figures from the dining room. They were standing just behind her, watching her, smiling. She screamed and ran, but it was no use. The house was a labyrinth, and she was its prisoner. The stairs led nowhere. Hallways looped endlessly, and the whispers had become a cacophony of sound, surrounding her from all sides. Finally, she came to the front door. Relief flooded her. She opened it and stepped out. She was in the same room she had entered from. The house had trapped her. The whispers stopped. An eerie silence descended. The figures were gone. Outside, the storm had passed. The sun was rising, painting the sky in hues of pink and orange. The house stood silent, its dark windows like empty sockets staring out at the world. And somewhere deep inside, the house waited for its next visitor.